Welcome back to C2E2, the live stage here. We're in Chicago. I'm Jordan Zachrin, the features editor at SYFY WIRE, which is your home for basically everything geeky genre. We got podcasts, we got videos, we got articles, we got literally, if you can consume it, we have it. Follow along with us at hashtag It's a Fan Thing, hashtag C2E2. I am here with Tom Bilyeu, who is, he's got a lot of titles, so if he's at a different convention, he might be doing something else. But here he has a comic book, Neon Future with Steve Aoki. You are the founder of Impact Theory. Tell us all about it. Tell us about this comic book. What's it about? Because for people who didn't see the trailer, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, so the story's set 30 years in the future in an America where advanced technology has been made illegal, and our story kicks off when the world's most famous anti-tech crusader dies and is resurrected using the very technology that he was trying to eradicate. And his resurrection sparks a civil war between those with technology implanted in their bodies and those without. And he has to decide what side of that coming war he's going to fight on. You know,
Steve Aoki, a lot of this is based on his music, right? And so I'm wondering how you got hooked up with him to do this.
Yeah, so speaking of the other titles that I have an interview show called Impact Theory, and he was a guest on that show. And in my research for him, I realized that he plans in real life to be cryogenically frozen when he dies. Oh. And I just thought, that's my kind of guy, somebody that's you know, not even accepting death. And so seeing that he was a techno-optimist and I was a techno-optimist, I pitched him an idea to build off of his album trilogy called Neon Future and to tell a whole story.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So what's interesting to me is, you know, you're a techno-optimist, you're a software guy, that's how you got your start. We're in a world where technology, these big companies, do pose some problems. So I'm curious where you fall on that. I mean, this is a very pro-technology story, but I'm curious because as I'm reading this thing, I kind of see both sides of it, so.
Yeah, our whole thing is, look, technology is amazing, but there's going to be some really fucking awkward times that we go through as this happens. And so the story is set in that awkward moment where it's like, what is government going to do? How are we going to regulate this? You've got Elon Musk in real life, like saying, guys, pay attention to AI. This is going to displace millions of workers. This is a real issue and nobody's paying attention to it. And so we wanted to say, okay, this is real. It's going to happen. Like, right. AI is going to displace, in the next, like, I'm talking 5 to 10 years, it's going to displace 20 million jobs just in automating driving. That's just driving. So now the echo of that is going to be just absolutely potentially catastrophic if we're not paying attention. But I believe that the thing that will pull us out on the other side is also technology. So we wanted to deal in this dip where, so that's where our sort of you know, dystopian future moment is. But Steve and I both wanted to show the way out of that. So our story is about how do we get back out.
Got it. And there's a lot of great talent on the comic book itself. You know, the story is really interesting, compelling, and definitely timely. But a lot of great artists, you got Marvel people working on it. So why don't you run through some of the people who are working on the book with you?
Yeah, that from the jump, we said, all right, if this is going to be Impact Theory's first comic, like, we want to come out with a bang. And we got Neil Edwards. So the book is broken into 2 parts, the real world and the digital world. So we actually put 2 different artists on that, which has been amazing to be able to collaborate with 2 different people. So Neil Edwards, who's done Wonder Woman, he's done X-Men stuff, just the biggest books on the planet. Extraordinary artist. And then Jeremy Raypack does the digital world. He worked on Injustice, and they're both just these amazing pencilers, amazing. And their styles are different, but work very well together in the 2 different spaces.
You know, like you said, this is based on some of Steve's work, so why don't we have a message from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks to technology. We got a message from Steve, so why don't we run that and see what he has to say.
What's up, guys? It's Steve Aoki. Thanks for welcoming me into the C2E2 sci-fi community. I'm so glad that I've been able to be introduced and be a part of your community with my comic book, Neon Future, a comic that was created with Jim Kruger, myself, and Tom Bilyeu. And we all have a fascination and obsession with sci-fi, future science, all the advanced tech, and basically the neon future ideology. And all the comic books that are really pushing and fueling this kind of idea about how to look forward into the future, how to merge with robots, how to become robots, and all these different ideas, all is from our imagination. And it really is boiling down to the sci-fi comic book community. So once again, appreciate all your support in any way. And I'm so glad that I'm part of your world, our world, and let's keep pushing forward for more fun stuff, more sci-fi ideas, neon future ideas, and I'm excited to hear and see what you guys are up to.
That was cool. So what's interesting is he's talking about being part of this world. I know Impact Theory, this company you started, you want to start not just this comic book, you want to do a whole roster of them. So talk a little bit about your plans for that.
Yeah, so we are a full-blown comic book publisher. We want to have a whole slate of projects. We actually have 2 more in development right now. And our goal is to become big and to be publishing a lot of stuff. And, you know, I think we're in a time right now where the comic industry is, you know, there's a lot of change happening in terms of who the major players are and stuff. I mean, obviously, you got your 2 big boys holding down the shop just fine. But
doing all right.
But, you know, I think there's a lot of room in that top 10 for some new players. And so we're trying to collaborate with some of the other up-and-coming publishing houses to really take this place by force.
Do you think it will mostly focus on technology stuff, or do you just want comics about lots of different things?
We want comics about exactly one thing, and that is empowerment. So what are humans capable of? And so the easiest way to explain it is we want to tell stories that make you feel like you're capable of more at the end of the story than you did at the beginning. So I'll liken it to The Matrix, Star Wars, Karate Kid, Rocky 4, like things at the end where you're like, I got this, you know what I mean? Like you just feel super amped. But it has to be just great storytelling at the core, character-driven, real stuff that you can relate to.
You know, the question generally is, what superpower would you have if you could? This comic makes me think, what technology would I want to be fused with? And so I'm wondering, have you ever thought about that?
I've thought about it obsessively. So as one of the writers, you know, as you're creating this stuff and you're thinking, okay, we're living in this world where this kind of stuff is possible and wanting to springboard off of what's really there now, we explore a lot of things. Neural implants, giving people extra sensory perception. So imagine somebody could see an infrared light or things like that, which are all real. And that is the crazy thing. Like even the neural implants, yes, we exaggerate it in the story, but it is real, man. So Elon Musk has a neural implant company. A guy named Brian Johnson has a neural implant company. They exist right now today. And so that, for me, the neural implant I would want, or I would want a neural implant. I would want something that allowed me to speed up the rate at which I can process raw data, because I think that's the superpower in the form of AI that's about to take over the world.
So if you can read really fast, basically?
Reading really fast, having access to basically the world's information at the, you know, snap of a finger. And when you think that, oh God, they ran the numbers, and current computing can do 20,000 years worth of human level computation per day right now. So you can imagine if you could suddenly have that implanted in your mind and you could learn as if you were alive for 20,000 years. I mean, it's just bananas. It's a scale that's hard to imagine.
Can the human brain handle that much information? I can handle very
Absolutely
little.
not. The human brain is not prepared for this at all. And that's why creating a neural interface is the future.
Okay, because, you know, I read for like 20 minutes and I get a headache, so I'd be in a lot of trouble.
You really need an implant, man.
I absolutely do.
One.
Especially to read as many comic books as you guys plan to put out.
Dude, that is one thing about this industry that's crazy. There's a lot of phenomenal work. Just by volume, it's crazy.
Yeah, you look out, there's so many independent publishers, so many great indie places, so many Kickstarters that it's hard. It'll be interesting to find your niche in the market.
Yeah, and I think that we'll lean a little bit heavier on sci-fi. That'll be not our exclusive niche, but you're going to see a lot of stuff that lean on that from us.
So what's the plan for Neon Future, the book itself? Do you plan on it being an ongoing thing? Is it going to be a limited run, miniseries?
It's a limited run right now, so it's 6 issues, and if it just smashes, then of course, hey, book 2. You know, and the funny thing is we actually have mapped out 3 different books, so 18 total issues, but as of right now, the plan is to wrap in 6.
So if Steve puts out another album related to Neon Future, do you get more material?
I mean, it would certainly give us more material. There's no question about that. But it just comes down to, you know, the team that we've put together. There's only so much bandwidth, only so many books we can do at one time. So, you know, this one I think we smashed. It came out really great. I'm super excited for people to check it out. And we're giving away issue 1 right now at our booth. Like, we believe in it that much. We just want people to read it. So that's our core thing.
When we get neural implants, we'll be able to do more.
Yes, you can read a lot more, a lot faster.
All right, guys, go check out their booth if you're here. If you're not, go check out the website. How can people find it?
You can find the comic online at IT Comics on Instagram and at comics.impacttheory.com to actually buy the book. And we're also distributed via Diamond, and you can find it on Comixology.
All right, we're going to keep this going. Next up, Henry Barajas talks about his Kickstarted book, La Voz de Mayo Tatarambo. I'll actually be back for that. Keep watching. Hashtag C2E2. Hashtag is a fan thing if you can do that stuff on Twitter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.